On today's Taste Texas, we're making the holidays easy with some delicious appetizers. And a visit to Open Range Cattle Company, where Chef Garth tries his hand at being a real cowboy. Hey Garth, do you feel like being a cowboy today?
I do.
You look like a cowboy.
Oh, thank you.
We're kicking off the season, so pull up a chair and join us at the table. Well, hi everybody, welcome to Taste Texas. I'm Amy Kushner.
And I'm Garth Blackburn.
And we are finally into the holidays, and it's time for lots of holiday food. For an example, party food. And you may be going to a party sometime really soon and you're wondering, what the heck are you going to be making? Well, I think Garth and I have got some great ideas for you.
We do. A little easy gourmet approach to the holidays. So let's
Yeah.
take a look. To start with, I'm going to do some little baby baked potatoes. They're going to be miniature. We're going to stuff them. We've done this one other time, but I'm going to show you a few different stuffings that you can use for them. And I just start with a little bit of canola or grapeseed oil, some salt and pepper, and we're going to roast these off at 350 degrees for about 45 minutes.
You're going to have to put more of that on a tray if you're going to feed a whole party.
Yeah. I didn't want you to have to do too much work today, though, so economy of scale, but yeah, it wouldn't be too bad. Now we're going to do, this is some Texas sausage. This is some of my favorite. It's pecan wood smoked venison and pork sausage.
Right.
And I will say that a lot of times people ask, what's my favorite knife, right? And my favorite knife is a sharp knife.
Right.
And I feel that way. I would rather have a knife from a convenience store than $150 Wusthof or Henkel's that's not sharp.
That's dull.
Right, so if you all have knives that are in your pantry or in your cabinet, in your kitchen, in your drawers that have not been sharpened in 6 months, a year, 2 years, I encourage you to call if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. There's a guy who does mobile knife sharpening. In fact, that's the name of his company, and he'll actually go to your house and sharpen your knives for you. So,
And isn't that what happened last week when I cut my hand? You had just sharpened those knives.
Which is why you shouldn't have cut your hand, because a dull knife is much more likely to cut you than a sharp knife.
All right, so we digress. Let's keep moving on. All right, what are you making here? What is this?
This is puff pastry. So we're going to make our little pigs in a blanket. So this is a little more gourmet than your little smokies.
And this is the kind you get in the frozen section, right?
Took a shortcut there. So if you want to go ahead and put some of that sausage out.
Sure. Where do you want to, how do you want to do this? Roll it up?
Right in the center. And actually, before you roll it, why don't you unroll it?
Yep.
And put a little bit of milking white cheddar.
Oh.
Got to go visit their dairy.
You got to get some cheese in there.
Fantastic cheese.
Just like so?
Just like so.
And you roll it up and you pinch it together and you put it there. Seam down.
That's not enough, right?
Okay. Carrying on. All right, or cheese, yes.
And when you're making this with puff pastry in a regular oven, then you're going to want to use a little bit of egg wash on the outside. If you have the luxury of cooking in a steam oven, then you don't need to, because the steam will actually create that awesome sheen on the outside. And it just so happens that Wolf makes a convection steam oven that I work for.
Just so happens. We happen to have one of those right here.
Exactly right. And y'all can substitute whatever cheese you'd like, whatever sausage you like. Of course, I'm really big into any Texas product that I can find.
So the puff pastry is really the main thing that you're going to need to pull that all together.
It is. So I guess we're doing only 3.
Right. We're having a small party. Is that not enough? You need more. Okay.
That looks good.
I'll keep going.
Looks good.
All right. So any other ideas on?
The puff pastry can be based for anything. In fact, how many of y'all have had beef Wellingtons before? Yeah, that's kind of a classic, old school. You usually think of a big fillet that's wrapped in puff pastry. I love doing the same thing with the puff pastry, but in a miniature form. So just cut the beef tenderloin into small pieces. And y'all are going to get to see and hear in a little bit some of the best beef tenderloin that you can buy that's all natural. I'll introduce you guys in the next segment to a great guy and an awesome farm. But the beef tenderloin go right in the middle. Top that with, ideally, when you're doing a beef Wellington, you're topping it with mushrooms. So we do the Gonzalez Kitchen Pride mushrooms pretty much across the board here. And then I love either Boursin cheese or Full Quiver Farms. They do a great job with a real creamy cheese. So
good.
It is.
All right, it's party time for the holidays. We're going to have more great recipes for you when we come back. Stay with us. season to be eating lots of appetizers and to be learning about a new place that we just went recently called Open Range Cattle Company out in Paradise, Texas. Y'all take a look. Mike, how did you get into this business?
Well, we actually through a need. Our daughter started maturing early, and through hormones is what I believe it was in what we consume.
Right.
So we started eating more naturally, and then having a ranching background, I just decided to start the business.
And what were you doing prior to this?
I have a construction background, commercial construction.
Okay.
Hence all this, right?
Exactly.
So you built this whole facility.
Yes.
Wow.
That's nice.
Impressive.
Really nice.
We had product for sale for the first time in 2008.
Product for sale, so you were raising them prior to that.
Exactly.
And about how many years old are they when you're?
They're under 3 years. We like to, we actually like to keep them under 30 months.
Okay. What's the whole process? I mean,
Well, the process, of course, is calving through cows, you know, and then just letting them mature and gain weight. Well, all of our cattle are Black Angus and Black Angus cross. We have a little bit of influx of the Brahman and some Hereford. You'll see some white faces, so that's a Hereford and Angus cross, but they're mostly black. We're in the process of kind of cleaning our herds. Some of it is prior influx, some of it we design. I like a little bit of the Hereford influence because the yield from hoof to rail is much better.
So it's not about taste?
No.
Or flavor, or
no,
marbling,
taste,
or anything else?
No. The taste is going to come from the natural aging of that beef. In other words, them being a little older when they're processed.
Do y'all do USDA grading?
Yes.
And most of yours is coming in choice, prime. Most of it's in prime. Wow.
You're going to be surprised when you actually see the product.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
You're going to be surprised. Most people are. They think of the grass-fed as the old style that their grandfather raised. You know, that may have some people call it a twang. Some people call it a little gamey. It's not. It's just a really rich, beefy flavor.
And grass versus grain?
Well, cattle are herbivores.
Right.
So grain was introduced into cattle to speed the process of weight gain. And then through years of grain, you know, cattle start reacting and they don't process and digest grain as well as they do grass.
I was going to ask you, how can people buy your product or find more about your product?
Well, you can find me online.
Okay.
Or call me. We're, like I said, this is our first year in the retail side, so we use the Keller's Farmers Market as a jumping off place to start. So we're going to be involved in delivering beef to those customers that we made down there this season.
Okay, so they could see what you have online.
They can either come here. We really encourage
market.
our customers to come here. We want them to
with experiences like this, for sure, be coming by weekly.
Yeah, we want our customers to see what we're doing, grow to trust us, know that the product that they're going to buy from us is safe, and that we're doing what we say we do.
That was paradise, was it not?
For you.
It was.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Garth fulfilled a dream. Another bucket list checked off.
Mike was such a great guy, learning about the ranch, the cattle, the beef. But
you
my
didn't
goodness,
care about
riding
the beef.
that horse.
You didn't care about the beef. You just wanted to herd the cattle.
It was a blast.
Yeah, it was fun. Great fun.
So we're going to take some of his beef tenderloin. It's all natural. I'm going to cut it a little thin. Just butterfly it, basically. That nice sharp knife. That's going to make
Look how beautiful this meat
quicker
is.
to cook. Look at that, isn't that great?
Perfect. Like there's hardly any fat in there. It's like perfectly made.
Perfectly made, like it's from paradise.
It was from paradise.
Okay, that's ready to roll. If you will do me a favor, and you'll toast that bread on each side.
This bread. Okay.
And so I'm going to season the beef tenderloin. These are going to be some little kind of cheesesteak sandwiches. I'm going to use some smoked scamorza from the mozzarella company. Can you say that?
Scamorza.
Smoked scamorza. And we're going to use a little bit of fresh arugula and some Texas pecans from the Gilbert Pecan Company.
Nice. What kind of oil did you put in here?
That was grapeseed oil. Again, it's a high smoke point.
Okay.
So when we go to sear the beef, because we just turned up the heat, you just turned down the heat, but I just turned the
really
heat back
hot.
up. And
it's like coming up into my face. It's so hot. What are we trying to do here? Just toast these?
We're going to toast these.
Okay. Is this one done?
Just about.
No. Let's add more oil.
And then we are going to put the beef tenderloin in there, let it get finished because it's nice and thin. I tell you while we're doing that, because I know that you have an item that's coming up next.
I have my own appetizer.
One of my favorite ingredients.
Right, given to me by the church lady. Because you know,
Saturday Night Live?
Not that church lady, another church lady. Because you know the best recipes come from church, potluck, right? Yeah, no one's nodding their heads here. Does anybody go to church?
Potluck.
Potlucks at church,
That's like casseroles, right?
Casseroles, like the best recipes come from your church friends. So one of my friends who wants to remain anonymous, she wants to be called the church lady, she gave me a great recipe. And it entails your favorite ingredient, bacon. Right. So what we have to do first is we have to get it in the oven. So we're going to do that. And while we're getting it in the oven and getting it nice and crispy, we're going to toss to a little break. And we'll be back with more good recipes. I'm going to show you how to make this when we come back. Okay, so we're gonna move on. You need to get this beef started.
We do. So I've got this on medium-high heat. We'll just put the beef down to get it searing. And while it's searing.
Smells so good. Yeah, so let's move on to the recipe from the church lady.
The church lady.
The wonderful bacon-wrapped water chestnuts. Okay, so what I did was I put this bacon strips in the oven at 350 degrees until they were almost crispy, but not quite crispy, just enough because you want to keep them a little pliable. You want to take either a whole water chestnut or maybe a couple if you have sliced, just take a couple, and you want to take a half of that bacon strip and wrap it around the water chestnuts like that.
That's good.
And take a little toothpick and poke it through to keep it connected if you can. There we go. And of course put them seam down. And you want to build this and use as many as you can because they are going to they'll disappear at a party in an instant because people love these little things. Whoa, Garth, back off of my water chestnuts.
Well, it's kind of being left out there. You weren't having me help. I just wanted to make more of a little show.
Okay, so anyway, we keep building these like so until you have your whole dish filled up. And like I said, you may even want to double this recipe because it's going to be quite popular. So for the sauce, what you do is you want to take a little bit of this chili sauce, such as Heinz or whatever kind you have on your pantry shelf. About a quarter cup of that. I'm just going to make a little glaze here. If you can keep it from getting all over your hands. Then you want to take some mayonnaise, and I'm saying you want to use real mayonnaise, not the fake mayonnaise. You know what I mean? So we got the real stuff there. Then you want to add in a little brown sugar.
How much is a little?
That was probably a quarter cup. I can't remember exactly, but it'll be on the recipe.
Jump in a little bit.
Yeah. Mix this all together really good until you have this beautiful, creamy. It's going to be a little sweet, a little tangy. Mix it up. And then you want to pour it over the bacon-wrapped water chestnuts, like so. I don't have the dish quite full, but you get the general idea. Pop it in the oven, and you're going to bake it at 350 degrees until they're golden. I'm telling you, when you pull these things out of the oven, just stand back and watch everybody flood to the dish because it's going to disappear really fast. That is from the church lady.
Well, let's fire it up, church lady.
Yeah, stick those in there. I'll wrap some more later, but I know we need to get back to this gorgeous beef that you almost set on fire.
Fire roasted, fired up beef.
Yeah.
All right, these are the baby baked potatoes that I have so much fun with. These are so easy to do. We're just going to cut a little X in the top.
Right.
And you're going to pop them open. You're just going to take the potato and squeeze it, and it opens up like a little flower.
Cool.
Okay? And that's going to be just a landing spot for any sort of toppings that you want.
Right, so, you want to make sure you have a little crater right there for your topping.
Right. Or butter, or you want to pop those open?
Sure. These are really, really hot, so of course you give me the hard job. Thanks, Garth. I can't do that. That's hot.
You can let them cool a little bit. Don't let them get too cold. They'll fall apart. And also don't cut them more than halfway.
So you have to make just a perfect little X on the top.
the perfect little X on the top.
What are you gonna stuff them with?
This is gonna be Manchego cheese, which y'all could substitute a kind of a young Parmesan, because this is gonna be a really nutty cheese.
Okay.
This is a little Mediterranean flavor. And then this is a sun-dried tomato.
Oh, that would be good.
And when they're finished, we're gonna top with a little bit of fresh basil from Generation Farms that we gotta go visit.
That's right, that's right.
Ethan. All right, then that's gonna go back into the oven for the cheese to melt.
So that cheese will melt down. Oh my gosh, that's gonna be fantastic. We're already having a party here with all these appetizers, right?
We are.
We're having our own party. Everybody came, right?
We are indeed. I can't wait to do it again.
Fantastic. Okay, so what goes on here?
I want to get a nice perfect medium rare. So I'm going to sear it on both sides for about 4 to 5 minutes. You can flip it back. Does everybody know how to do the test for rare, medium rare? You guys know this?
Does anybody know this? This is the best trick ever.
Tell us how the food is so far. Give me one of these. Point your finger on your thumb and press right here. That's medium rare. Now put your middle finger down. Put your middle finger down, don't raise it up in the air. That's medium. Put your ring finger down. That's medium well. Don't ever serve beef that way. And your pinky, that's well done. That's only for chicken. Don't ever do that to beef. Or for Amy's beef, which that's just wrong. We would never do that to Mike's beef tenderloin.
No, we want to pay respect to Mike because he does have that fabulous meat. Okay, we're going to take a break. We're going to finish all this up when we come back. Y'all just stay with us. We'll be right back.
All right, we're back in my favorite place in the house, and that's the Sub-Zero and Wolf Prep Kitchen. Today it's gonna be a quick, easy weeknight Italian-inspired Texas meal. We're gonna be doing a Texas cheese studded polenta, along with an open range cattle company ragu. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna take some Texas Hill Country olive oil, some aromatics, like some Texas sweet onions, a little bit of celery, some carrots. I prefer chopped fresh, but if it's the pre-cut versus buying something out of a jar, then go ahead and take that little shortcut. Okay, now we've got some kitchen fried mushrooms, and for you mushroom haters, the best way to break these down is to shred them. Okay, now we're gonna take some of that delicious open range cattle company ground beef, natural, no antibiotics. This is some red meat you can feel good about eating. Okay, now we're gonna add the rest of the ingredients. That's gonna be these Texas grown hothouse tomatoes. I'm just putting them in whole, and they're gonna start to burst. I want that quick, delicious flavor, so I'm gonna put in a little bit of veal demi-glace, and you can buy this at the grocery store. It'll be next to the chicken and beef stock. I'll put in a teaspoon. And then for a little bit heat, about a half a teaspoon of red pepper flake. I'm gonna stir that. Add a little salt, a little more salt, and some freshly cracked black pepper. And now one of my favorite things in the kitchen, it's all about big tools. So I've got my potato masher. This is going to break down the tomatoes. That'll cause it to become a sauce a lot sooner. Okay, meanwhile, we're gonna make our polenta. It's gonna be a quick cooking polenta, super easy for a weeknight meal. So I'm heating up my pan. I'm gonna put in about a cup of Milk King, either milk or half and half. And then about a cup of chicken stock, or you could use water. Okay, now we're gonna add about half a cup of quick cooking polenta. Okay, it's starting to thicken up to really like grits sort of texture. I'm gonna cook it for a total of about 3 to 4 minutes. Okay, now I want some flavor enhancement. I don't wanna just have plain polenta, so I'm gonna take some frozen corn if it's out of season. Fresh Texas corn would be great once we got into corn season. And then this is one of my favorite cheeses. It's an Ancho Cacciotta from the Mozzarella Company here in Dallas. And this is just gonna make it so delicious. A little bit of heat, a lot of richness. So what I like to do are take some whole fresh herbs like basil, rosemary, thyme, and a bay leaf, and just kind of press that in. All right, now it's time to plate it up. We've got that creamy, cheesy polenta. We've got that open range cattle company ragu. Those fresh herbs. In fact, you know what? Let's dodge it up a little bit more with some Texas butter. That heat's gonna melt that butter out. That is looking incredible. Top it with some of that ragu. There's fresh herbs in there. Oh, that butter's oozing out. Doctor it up just a little bit. Some freshly grated Milking white cheddar cheese. And some Generation Farms fresh basil. All right, looks fantastic. I can't wait to dig in.
All right. So our appetizers are all ready. We're going to plate these up. And you needed to finish up this one sandwich that you had here.
I do. So we're going to slice the beef. I'm going to put that onto the sandwich.
Right.
And then I like the combination of sweet and salty and a little bit spicy.
Right.
This is a sweet Thai chili sauce.
Ooh.
So we'll just put that.
Oh!
Saved barely.
Wow, good job.
Across the top, press on that. And now that's going to keep it together. Cut it through. And that's going to help immensely on the plate up. Look at that. Doesn't that look great?
Beautiful presentation,
All right, keep finishing up there.
So, yeah, let me help. I'm going to pull this around just so I have a little space. Now,
so you can reach it?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at. But, okay, so how do you want these? These are the little bacon-wrapped water chestnuts.
Right, with that delicious glaze.
Yeah.
And we're putting these out in groups of odd numbers because odd numbers always look more visually appealing than even numbers do.
Right, because you eat with your eyes before you eat with your mouth, believe it or not. So we want to make this presentation as pretty as possible so that everybody at your party will think you are the hostess with the mostest and the best recipes at that. All right, basil on top of those potatoes, right?
A little bit.
And I need to let everybody know that you can download all of these recipes on our website or from our website, and that's tastetexastv.com. And then you can also follow us on social media, and that is Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We'd love to hear from you. If you've got some good recipes that you like to make just specifically for holidays, we would love to know what you like to share and make.
We'll try them out.
We might try them out.
They might make it to the show one day.
That's right. All right, which one would you like? You need to try the bacon.
I'm going to try the bacon.
Yeah, because I know you love bacon. And
bacon.
Let's see.
Don't mess up my garnish.
I'm going to have a potato because I just feel like it's a carb day.
Thumbs up.
Nice. Really good.
There have been times that I've knocked her over after the high five, so that was a little bit more gentle. Anyhow, y'all join us next week.
Thank you. Happy holidays, everybody.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us.
Looking forward to see y'all again.